You're listening to Artificium, Occulte, Venatores, a Shadowrun actual play podcast by Relative Dimension. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving us a review at iTunes. 5-star reviews help new people find the show. And now, on to the episode. On one side, there is wooden remains reminiscent of what might have been a small chest of some sort. And inside of that, if you kind of brush away the top bits, there actually does seem to be very old, tarnished, like statuette. At first it might look a little bronzish or goldish. It looks to be about a 6-inch tall figurine. A humanoid shape, very out of scale, though it's not any type of normal scaled figure. It's a very squat, very round, vaguely reminiscent of limbs. The face seems to be the largest, or the head seems to be the largest proportioned item on it. It does seem to be a human face.
How big?
About 6 inches. 6-inch tall.
Okay.
The head seems to be about 3 inches of that 6-inch tall. The other 3 inches is roughly body.
Okay.
The features...
Is it sort of like a fertility figure, some of the old ones we have?
Yeah,
or?
something like that. The features of it kind of are reminiscent of this geographic area in the Ukraine.
Is it male, female? What?
Seems to be female.
Does it look ominous, or is it like, yeah?
No, it doesn't really look ominous. However, are you still astrally perceiving? I think it qualifies as a reagent. So once it is out in the open and not buried anymore, this does have an astral signature, I believe. Most of you are magically active, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The once you have it out there and kind of do a little examination, it appears to be an Recon statue.
Ooh.
Which is another one of those things that did not exist, supposedly, before the Awakening.
I might not know much about magic, but I know expensive.
What? I don't know what that is, so what is that?
Orichalcum, it's
a magical alloy.
Yeah.
Ah.
It didn't appear till after the Awakening.
Okay, that's unusual. Either it's incredibly old from the last cycle, or somehow someone managed to make some even then. Okay.
Looking around also, I did say there were some engravings. Most of them are a lot of pictograms, so deciphering them, it's not really a language or a written thing, but there are images occasionally, very smoothly engraved into this stone. And everybody that's bothering to look at this, give me a perception check.
Take some pictures.
Any type of, not patterning, but knowledge skills that might relate to pictograms, even hieroglyphics to a point, would help here.
I have like ancient languages in general. I mean, that would probably include pictograms, wouldn't it?
It's not really a language.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. All I got are things like historical cartography, ancient objects, artifacts. Nothing directly.
I got nothing. She's too logic. I've got no knowledge skills.
Only thing I got that may even come anywhere near is Egyptian hieroglyphics.
You can roll that first and use any hits as a teamwork for your perception.
Oh, 2.
Would this be considered like a form of artwork? Because I do have art as a skill.
Yes. You can do either art or hieroglyphics, whichever is better as your teamwork test, if you wish.
Nope, hieroglyphics is better.
Take your 2.
Yep, so add your 2 to your perception. Alright.
Nobody got more than 3 was the highest roll.
We're new.
Nobody has much for perception.
It's all good.
So among the artwork, you see the typical mythological pictograms. A people, like one person seeming to stand in as the focus of an image with a bunch of people looking beyond. cases that might represent miracles being performed because they have the stylistic lines and radiating shapes and stuff of stuff happening type things. Sunlight with rays shining down on things. It's hard to understand what exactly is showing down, but you get the general gist of these images are of things trying to tell a pictorial story of stuff that's happened. As you go around, you can almost find a starting point and follow it through, even though the images themselves don't seem to make much sense. But Adranus notices one thing, so let me type this out.
Okay, so based on it seems that perception is going to be key. So everybody's going to be cranking up their perception now, right?
It does sound like something I should have. I think I might just grab a key focus for enhanced perception instead.
Okay. Alright, I'm now in Marigold's court.
What? It wouldn't take away I'd probably still drop 2 karma and grab A rank, so it gets... Oh, no.
No, I'm with you.
No,
this shouldn't be possible.
Stop one more moment, though. Anybody have anything that would relate to the dating? Ancient ruins might help. Anybody else have anything that would date?
I do have the ancient ruins.
Yeah, roll your ancient ruins.
Or you can get 0. That's horrible.
These are not the ruins I'm looking for.
Yeah,
are you happy with that level of success?
Can I post edge with an exclamation point?
You can...
I can just re-roll the thing, since
Yeah,
I got no successes.
You can re-roll it, or you can roll just your edge stat with the exclamation point for exploding numbers. Either way. Probably re-rolling is better.
Oh, 2.
Hey, that's better.
You're pretty sure that this chamber and these engravings are more than 3 or 4, what is it, like 1700, so more than 400 years old?
So before the time of his sainthood and stuff.
Yes, presumably.
Can he date it to a certain time period, or like a century or something?
Not with 2.
No.
But 2 is enough to know that when the church was presumably built, this chamber at least seems to be older than that.
But we don't even have like a scale idea, right? So it's not even like, it could be like a couple hundred years older, but it could be 1,000 years older?
Could be, yes.
Okay, alright. So how big is this chamber you said that we're in?
This one that you came into is probably in the range of, say, 10 meters wide by about 6 meters deep.
And there's no other exit, or is there?
No other exits in here that you can tell.
So it just goes from one dead end room to another dead end room. Okay. I will look around. I need. Let's see if we can find something to date this place. Because you said all the clothes and stuff are gone, right?
Yeah, the clothes are gone. The statue you may be able to take out and date it. The tool you may be able to take that out and date it.
I have ancient artifacts. Is there something that would apply to that?
You may roll that if you wish. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Could I also observe the room in detail, kind of like I did the previous chamber, to see for like temperature differentiation and that kind of stuff?
I presume you guys already did that. There's nothing else here.
Interesting. So it's a room that was blocked off, but there's no entrance to this room other than the one we came from.
Artifacts. 5 successes.
Oh, look at that. Someone did really well.
Okay.
You have a street basis of the skill. I have an academic.
No, why do I have a street? Oh, did it put everything in street? Hold on.
Probably.
By default, it does.
Okay.
So yours is your intuition.
Oh, yeah, mine probably shouldn't be a street level skill either.
I believe the logic would be academic if you studied, or if you professionally worked in the thing. The intuition is if it's street interest or like a casual interest thing.
Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. Both of mine are exactly the same. So
Streeter interest. Interest is the other category.
Yeah, that's right. Interest is the other category.
Yeah.
So the one skill could be all 4 of them at one, depending on your purview.
Given my background, what do you think it would have been? Considering he wasn't like academically trained, but he was brought up within the organization.
I'd still say that academic. Because
Yeah.
despite you not being academically trained, you were, like, it wasn't an academic setting, but you were you learned by books, it's academic,
Okay.
is how I see it.
Or if you learned as far as a profession goes, then it's professional and it's still logic, I think.
Yeah, it's still logic that way, but I see that more as, like, learning on the job. Minor differences.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change my role because they're both exactly the same stat for me. They're both so it doesn't change anything.
All right, so I believe L has the statue. The studying of the walls and trying to date this, I'm going to say, is taking about an hour of investigation and, close examination. So it'll be close to 2 a.m. now.
L is pretty patient, though. I'm not too concerned about the time. Has there been any indication that there's any activity back out of the chamber? That we've been spotted, or?
No, there doesn't seem to be any activity outside.
Now, what I want to know is, when they built the chamber back outside in the church, does it look like whoever it was knew that this place existed? In other words, the block in the wall, is it designed to be concealed into the wall on the other side?
The block on the wall from the chamber with the table and the coffin,
Yeah,
was sealed on that side.
Okay.
Meant to be on that side hidden. On this side, it doesn't look like it was meant to be hidden. So the
Okay.
people that died in here knew it was there.
Okay. But the people who built the other outside chamber knew that this place existed, but they concealed it into the wall.
Yes. Does seem
Okay.
that way.
Okay.
Well, that could have just been, engineers doing engineering things without realizing they were encroaching on the property of the church. They just said, "Oh crap, we broke into the wall of the church. Quick, seal it up! Seal it up!"
No, the burial chamber outside, when they constructed that chamber, they knew that this place existed and purposefully concealed. So either they had been inside or they knew not to come inside. But either way, they knew that it was here. Okay, so take as much pictures as we can of the diagrams and engravings, the corpses. Can we get some samples from the bodies? I don't know, quickly check for things like false teeth or fillings or anything, funky about the jaws. Teeth are often an interesting way to date things. And then also their clothing, if there's maybe any samples of the residue or fibers.
Yeah, we could carbon date.
I don't think you can carbon date anything that soon.
They don't have any clothing left.
Yeah, but it decayed, right? So there's going to be stuff on the floor around it.
There's stuff on the floor. You can find dust and things like that.
Okay.
Does anybody have stuff to keep samples in?
Wouldn't a med kit have stuff for that?
Since there's no proper forensics kit of any kind?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
You can always scoop it up and put it in a plastic glove.
I have a survival kit, but I don't think that has a
So you could probably keep samples in something.
bit funny to carry it in your pocket.
I've got a lot of pockets.
If I
pretty
have
sure.
to, I'll sacrifice. I have some electronic paper that I can fold up into a little envelope, but that's about the best I can do.
All right,
You
so
need to
whoever's
have an
keeping
investigator's
samples, whoever's keeping the samples, mark them down, so you guys know.
But I'm curious about the teeth as well.
The teeth seem to be, I guess, teeth preserve somewhat.
Yeah, teeth don't really break down.
They look as though they are all present. There doesn't seem to be any destruction to the teeth. There are no replacements. There aren't any strange wooden dentures or anything like that. They do seem to all be the natural teeth.
Did you say that all the teeth were present? Like none were missing?
None that shouldn't be missing are missing.
Wait,
Seems
what do you mean by that?
seems unlikely that everybody that has their full set of teeth, unless they were important.
Yeah, so you're saying they had really, really good dental care.
Yes.
They were
Oh.
helping.
Okay. Well, in character, but they're probably than the rest of the place.
I mean,
Okay.
Dental hygiene wasn't really a thing as old as the rest of this place is. It wasn't a thing back then.
As far as we know, it's possible that the chamber was here a long time ago, and then they came in and sealed it up a few hundred years ago. We don't know if they are the same.
But there's no, it doesn't look like there's like a metal tooth or anything like that involved in it.
No fillings or anything like that were obvious.
no fillings.
Interesting.
And there was no sign of jewelry or anything like that other than the trowel. So like no earrings or anything like that.
No jewelry.
Okay.
And I sent you a message about how old you think the statue might be. Should be the last thing on the table for you.
Yeah, I saw it. So I'm not going to say anything about it right now.
Okay. Well,
Unless you wish to carry these bodies out with you, probably have found everything in here that you think you might find.
did you guys want to look to see if there was another alternate chamber or?
Go ahead. Look. I'm not stopping you.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess so.
I didn't think there was, but
It can't hurt to look.
Yeah, you guys have spent enough time in here going over the walls and stuff. There doesn't seem to be an alternate way out.
Okay. So, is it possible that during the movement of the tomb, this floor just collapsed?
Doesn't seem so.
Well, no, I mean the outer floor, the one that led down from the church.
It does look like it was purposefully dug through.
But from the top, right?
From the top down, yes.
So maybe they did find something down there in that first chamber that they wanted, and then took that, and that's all they wanted, right?
yeah, there was
in this
evidence of
alternate
something.
chamber.
Yeah, there was like a casket or something, right? You said there were marks on the floor as if there was something there that had been taken, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. And then they just didn't find this particular room.
We don't think so.
Correct.
Or they didn't
And
care about this room.
the layout of the place, the church door faces north. So when you go into the church, you are facing south. The side chamber that was dug through was to the left, so it was on the eastern side of the church. Going down, this chamber here is on the south side of that small burial chamber. So this is actually not below the church. This is below the field to the back of the church, if that matters to anybody.
And there are no obvious other entrances into this room other than the hole that we came to.
Correct.
All right. Well, I think we got everything here.
Do I think an air elemental could lift that ceiling block, the cube,
The
2-foot cube
back
or
to you?
stone?
probably not.
Okay. I'm gonna try to summon an earth elemental in this chamber. I'm kind of curious if the chamber would have any impact on that. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing it here. We'll see.
I'll be right back.
Picking the elemental type change, funky. Force 4, Joe.
This is probably 1,200 pounds of stone or more.
Okay. Earth elementals are pretty.
I think they're the stronger of them.
Well, on the physical plane, yeah.
That's what we're gonna need.
Wait, what are we?
I want to summon an elemental that could close the thing behind us when we leave. Yeah, there's strength force plus 4. So it'll be a strength 8 with a body of 8. Do I think that'll be enough? If not, I can summon something stronger. Force 6 should definitely be enough.
Let's see. Baseline for lifting weight is 15 kilograms per point of strength. Anything more needs a roll. So a force 6 would have a 10 strength, so that will lift 150 kilos, which is roughly a little over 300 pounds, which is a quarter of this weight.
Okay.
I'll help. Hold on.
Yeah, I was going to say, we might be able to help it.
Yeah, but no, what? You're gonna be in here afterwards?
Yeah, see, the thing is, we can't pull the...
Sure I can.
You can?
No, because it fits flush with the stones around it.
Right, so how can you pull? Do you have something that
Unless
can do
you-
it? Do you have a levitate?
Yes, I'm using levitate. I was re-rolling my my drain roll because I did not like that. So I
Okay.
take one. So I take one drain instead of all the drain.
Okay. Well, what is What can your levitate handle?
Well, I casted it at 4/6, so 600 kilograms.
Yeah, that's half the weight.
It's based on the hits you get. How many hits did you get?
Oh, I'm sorry, 300 kilograms then. 3 hits. Yes, but that would assist it.
3 hits might actually be enough.
Okay. I'll summon it before 6 then.
Levitate is, you have to be to the threshold equal to the subject's mass divided by 200 kilograms. So its mass is under 600 divided by 200, so you gotta get 3 hits or more. So you have enough.
Okay, have it adjust. I got it.
Okay, so I will summon a 4/6. Okay, 4 hits. And I take a point of drain, apparently.
And it rolled 1, so you have 3 services.
Okay.
First service is to slide the rock into place. It can do so. This place is not astrally sealed, so it can then dematerialize and float back up to you later.
Thank you. Okay. So let's all leave. Let's take the statue out, and then you can hold the block up while the elemental pushes it back into place for us. I don't think we can conceal it as well as we did last time, but as it was before. But I mean, at the very least, it's closed.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't take any shaping spells.
Well, elementals used to be able to manipulate their element.
I think they still can.
No, there's no power for that.
I don't. It's not a power. It's just something they can do, if I recall correctly. Like that's a pretty sure I saw that.
I haven't found it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
I mean, basic assumptions. I can go. I can do limited manipulation, but I've never found anything that specifies anything.
Oh, that was a thing.
I would ask it if I could. Then I would basically use a service to see if it could try to conceal the.
Because I think. Okay, I'm pulling it up. We can move on for now, but
actually, I need to put the baby to bed, so I need a AFK for a few minutes. If you wish to look for that, we can take a break in the meantime.
Yeah.
Also, we may be using the phrasing incorrectly because with Forbidden Arcana, they introduced elementals.
Yeah.
What we summon are the beefier, bigger brother of elementals.
And I'll be back.
I still haven't taken in all of Forbidden Arcana yet. Some of it just makes my eye twitch.
We looked at the basic rules and there was nothing in it basically allowed it.
Oh no, I'm talking what I'm remembering is from the core rulebook. Nothing.
Right, I don't remember anything from the core rulebook for that. We looked, but if you could find it, that'd be awesome. Because it used to be that was a baseline power for all elementals, and none of the nature spirits had it. And that was one of the cool things that hermetics could do that other, the shamanics couldn't do, right? But they kind of don't seem to have that in this edition. But it used to be a baseline power.
I am somewhere. I've never played 4, so I can't be mixing up that.
I believe you've seen it. We haven't found any evidence of it. I mean, they tend to have things like energy, aura, sort of thing, but I mean, that's it. Yeah, I forgot to point out to Joe, my character probably would be summoning their air elementals every dawn and dusk, like a Force 1.
I think he's AFK.
I'm not going to point out to him now. I'm just saying I would have, because my character is one of the only other magical things he can, since he's a null wizard.
Could have sworn. Okay, let's pull up Howling Shadows. Not Howling Shadows. Why do I want Street Grimoire? I don't know why. I always mix up Howling Shadows and Street Grimoire. They're nothing alike. Magic Book, Howling Shadows. No.
Forbidden Arcana, Street Grimoire?
Nah, Street Grimoire is the one I was thinking of. Always mix those two up for some reason. Ah, frick, I want my desktop working again. I feel like I'm losing my mind, because, I swear that was a thing.
Yeah, we thought it would be too. I mean, everybody who's played Shadowrun in earlier editions, it was one of the de facto things about it. So the lack of it seems, weird. SR5.
Okay, I'll actually be right back. Well, wireless headset. I'll still be here. I'm walking away from the computer.
Be right.
Alright, I am back.
Welcome back.
I don't think she found it.
Welcome back. I can't find it, and I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, I think there should be some basics of, hey, this is kind of what works, but I've never found it.
We can always have the Earth Spirit, take the mortar and just jam it back in the cracks.
Well, that's what I was thinking of using a service to do, to conceal that seam, alright? But even if you did it, it'd probably be noticeable upon investigation. So I don't really have much hope of doing a really good job of doing it. You have the hiccups.
Yes, I do.
Getting out is not too difficult. You guys can boost somebody up and then reach down and pull the last person up type thing. Or levitate. So what is the plan now?
Well, so they clearly just boosted this and carried it out, probably put it in some sort of vehicle and drove it over to the castle.
We should try to see what they took out of the casket room, out of the tomb, if there's any indication of where they took it or how they took it out.
You did see evidence that there was a casket of some sort that was slid off of the supporting table, but there are no remains of a casket down there.
I mean, like, is any evidence of where it went from there? Like drag marks?
Up and out the hole?
Whatever they pushed it on, anything they pulled it on, any pulleys, any evidence of anything?
No.
Like, yeah, at the top. Like, once he got up top, can't we tell anything?
Okay.
I mean, we just levitated ourselves out. I can't imagine the casket would have been heavier than a person. Or not by much.
No, I'm not. It's
Not
possible.
heavy. Not too heavy for a levitate, anyway.
Right.
They could have just lifted it, right? Carried it, right?
Well, with a team of people, probably. I mean, it's awkward enough. Not one person, I would imagine. It's at least awkward enough for 2, maybe 3 people.
Well, if it was wooden, then it would be really easy for just a few people.
If it's wooden, it would be
stone,
great. It's likely stone.
Well, no. 400 years? Wood easy can last that long. Especially if it was properly seasoned and prepared.
Maybe, yeah.
But you're right. Stone would take a bigger team. I was just kind of curious if there was any evidence. If it was stone, it was fairly likely like they would put it down before they got it up through the hole, so there'd be like marks on the floor or scuff marks.
Unless they were levitating it as well.
Is there any astral signature here that would show that somebody's been here?
I think this was too long ago for astral signatures to linger.
Yeah, it's hours for reports usually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a matter of hours, and this has been days, if not weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think at this point, maybe head back to the hotel.
Yeah, maybe call it a night, get a decent night's sleep, and then look at the castle tomorrow.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Sure.
We can make a plan and see what we want to do with this castle, how we're going to get in.
I want to be paranoid about being followed on the way back. Keep an eye out carefully.
All right. In that case, give me a perception check.
My edge.
And this is visual if it matters.
Doesn't change.
Actually, you can do audio if it matters too, whichever seeing or hearing is better for you.
You click on the edge button to make it an edge roll, right?
Yeah.
For success.
You are carefully listening for people following you. It is quiet at this time. The machinery that you are hearing off in the distance is no longer going on, so it's even more eerily quiet. You, at one point in time, think you hear something, so you kind of stop and glance around, and you actually see off in the distance an animal of some sort. It might be a raccoon or a devil rat, but it's not close to you, and it doesn't come close to you. It's kind of scurrying around some of the houses that you're passing by. Okay. And then you notice that the building across the way where that first flash of light or reflection was seen, there does seem to be it's very brief again, a glint of light reflected from something in that window. Do you have any type of magnification?
I don't believe I remember setting up my character. I don't have any kind of cyberware and.
You can put vision mag in glasses or contact.
I don't think I did yet. It was on my list of things to eventually get, right?
So as paranoid as you are, you kind of notice it out the corner of your eyes, and you wait a minute just to make sure, because the last time nothing happened after you looked, and you kind of notice it again, and then when you glance over there, you almost see whatever that reflection is fading out of view, as though they noticed that you noticed them, and they were trying to not be noticed, but didn't do it in time to not be noticed.
Yes. Is it possible it was a reflection of someplace else, like another building or another light source somewhere else?
The reflection, the light that was reflected could be from something else, but it was reflecting off of something in that building.
Right, I got that. Okay. Astrally perceive that building.
All right, give me a perception check.
Most perceptive.
None of us are. Wouldn't that be a sensing?
No, sensing is actually studying
Wow.
what you notice.
Wow.
In astral perception, looking in that direction, you can't really see through the window because windows are opaque astrally. Nothing is floating around the area. There's no active spell. However,
Do I see any like mana barriers or anything like that?
no.
Okay,
No magical signature.
Then I command my air spirit to manifest in that room, in that building, through
Is
that
he
window.
bound?
No.
So you got to summon
Is
a new
it-
one then.
Why? It's on?
You summoned an earth spirit.
Okay. So I had to release one? I thought I could only have one active, like present at a
You
time.
can have one non-bound spirit summoned.
So then I would have released the air spirit to get the earth. Okay.
Yeah, so
But
you
still the
still have an
earth-
earth spirit.
Okay, then I asked the earth spirit to do it, because he's still Force 6. I want him to manifest in that room up there, briefly, and then come back, well, at least tell me what he sees when he's manifest. Because, I mean, he can mentally communicate with me,
He
right?
can materialize, he can't manifest.
Right, sorry.
Okay, so you want him to become visible for anything that may be in there.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it could be a situation of, like, one of those cases where somebody goes look at something and, pow, they see a frying pan.
What's the force? It's force 6?
Yeah, I mean, the air spirit would have been nicer because they're much more concealable. But either way, if nothing's preventing them from entering that room.
I'm going to be sensing the focus while we are resting and whatnot.
Nothing seems to be preventing it from entering the room. You told it to materialize briefly and then dematerialize?
I haven't told it to dematerialize. I just wanted it to materialize and inform me about what it sees.
Oh, okay. So roll your... never mind. It tells you that it sees... see, they have an intuition of 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
And logic of 6.
But again, it's an earth elemental, so I'm not expecting it to have human priorities. I just want to know what it sees, people, things.
It sees in the room, there is some... It describes pictures a stone-shaped image that's almost like a stone hearth against the wall. Should be an upper story chimney, fireplace type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mentions that there was briefly somebody that was in the process of leaving the room as it materialized. It's looking around and you're getting the sense of some tools and items that it doesn't really understand. Like it doesn't know what to make of a bed, but based on the impression of this large, flat, soft, squishy thing, you kind of get that there's a bed in the room.
Okay. I thank it for its service and tell it it's to dematerialize. Now, Joe, what are the rules again on summoning the same spirit again? Because if it saw the person in there, it would therefore recognize that person's aura. So,
if
it
it assensed the person, it didn't assense it.
It's always. I thought all spirits are always assensing. I thought they were dual.
It's always perceiving because
yeah,
they're
assensing is
dual-natured.
still an action.
Okay, so it wouldn't necessarily be able to recognize that person's aura, even though it saw.
Correct.
No.
Okay, fair enough. I rejoin my comrades and indicate that I'll explain when we get to the hotel. I'm not going to talk about it on the street.
The assensing the tool. It is a spell focus. You don't have enough hits for much more than that, but it definitely seems to be a spell focus of some sort.
Casting, dispelling, what? Just generally a spell.
Hold on. Yeah, with those hits, it's just the category. It's a spell focus.
Let's get our butts back to the hotel.
All right,
Yep.
back at the hotel.
Okay. Let's go over the hotel to make rooms to make sure it's not disturbed and talk.
Your stuff, if you left it in the lobby, it's been moved into your room. The rooms have been prepared for you, but other than that, nothing's been disturbed.
Would you
Okay.
like me to run the bug scanner?
Nodding enthusiastic.
Absolutely.
There are several bugs, but they do crawl out of the way and into dark corners
Oh.
and cracks and stuff as you get close to them. There are no electronic bugs, though.
Oh wait, never mind. Marigolds used.
Gross.
If they're big enough you can see, they ain't the bad ones. Ones you gotta look out for are bed bugs.
Okay.
You know there's a
Let-
awakened version.
I don't want to know.
Nasty thing.
No.
Really don't want to know.
Wait, no, seriously, out of character, in game there are awakened
Yes,
bed bugs.
there are awakened bed bugs.
Anyway,
Whoever thought of that is terrible.
Elle lets everybody know what the room with the building was being watched on. Somebody noticed me noticing and then left the room briefly before my elemental could figure out who it was. But let them know that we were being watched going to and from.
So a flash, would that mean maybe they were trying to take a picture with a flash? That's old
Some
school.
sort of optical device, like a
Maybe.
camera or a telescope or binoculars. A reflection, that's all we know, right? Also, I think we have now something more valuable than what we were keen for. From what I know about similar artifacts, it's highly possible that that figurine is thousands of years.
Thousands? Like,
Yes. As in multiple thousand. Millennia.
okay. Well, that's impressive.
And very impressive. I don't know what it could be used for or why it was put there. It certainly is incredibly precious. It also makes me wonder if, what was the saint's name, Joe?
Joseph.
Saint Joseph? If he knew about the object and was securing it for a reason. But we need to be very careful now about letting information about this out.
Solomon, nobody has any problems looking in AR, right? Everybody kind of stays in AR most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His icon, his persona, kind of reses into existence in AR in the room. The saint you wanted me to look up, not a whole lot on him. However, I did happen to find he starts kind of reaching around and pulling into place AR images of books that he starts flipping through. And when he turns it around, you actually get screenshots of actual books and stuff. It seems there's rumors that he was sainted because he was able to either keep people alive or bring them back from the dead.
Okay.
There's a whole lot of very old, archaic text of people witnessing him doing his miracles, and people that were on the brink of death managed to pull through and recover and stuff like that. There's even a few rumors in the whole thing of somebody that had been dead for a day gone managed to recover from his injuries and stuff like that.
Okay. Joe, just to be clear, in real life, many of the saints had similar miracles described to them. Does my character find anything unusual about that story in that context?
Maybe with the length of time, a few of the people were rumored to be dead. Other than that, no, not really. Seems like normal, miraculous stuff.
Possibly he had some sort of magical healing ability. And people, think they were long gone, or, they might have been, in a coma or something like that, and people thought they were dead, and he was able to actually bring them back somehow. I don't know. What do you all think?
I'm not quite sure to make it this one.
Well,
Sounds like not what we were hired to do.
No. We still have the job that we were brought here. It's true. Who wants to secure the statuette?
I can keep it on my person if need be.
Something about that just makes me kind of cringe. Okay.
and what else are we going to do with it? I mean, we could ship it out, but it's probably not very safe doing that.
Or would you prefer to leave it in the room while we're gone?
No, that's not even enough.
Then we're keeping it with us.
Yeah. The funny thing is, though, actually FedExing it to the Vatican might actually be perfectly safe. But in one of those cases, the bad guys wouldn't expect it, you know. Like, oh, off it goes.
Wait a minute, I might have a career contact, do I? No, I don't, not on this.
Let's see, a dram is roughly an ounce, right?
I think so, yeah.
An Oscar weighs 8.5 pounds, and that's not actual gold, and this is not gold either, but it's probably a lot more than that. So assuming 20 ounces,
Wait, is it pure orichalcum?
I mean, 20 pounds.
Joe, you don't even need to calculate it. The price is astronomical.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't like a dram of orichalcum like a year of a mage's life, pretty much? You got to work that hard just to make one dram of it.
At an auction, this thing might bring 42 million yen.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
And that's just the material it's made of.
How
Let
much
alone
are we getting paid for this?
We're not being paid. We're salaried.
I better see a bonus on my salary at the end of the year.
You're working for a church.
You're restoring the order to where it should be.
You can be in this for the job itself and for the money it gives you, but you're basically working for a church. And the church is not known to be like, here, just have a buttload of money for this.
No, they hoard it to dive in like Scrooge McDuck.
There is a chance I agree on that second part, but the thing of it is one of the ironies that's going on today is the fact that Rome, Vatican City specifically, has enough money to bail out Greece
Yeah.
and Italy
Oh yeah, the Catholic Church
at the same time,
the Catholic
and
Church is,
still have enough money.
yeah, the Catholic Church has been finance based for a long time now. And even before then, even Middle Ages, they relied heavily on the properties they own to generate income. So the church has been fairly wealth oriented in many ways for a long time, but that doesn't really make them like a bailout type of organization.
Yeah, that doesn't count all of the ancient golden artifacts hidden in their vaults.
And well, the problem is that one of the reasons that they're valuable is because the Vatican has them. If they just started selling them to collectors rapidly, I mean, it's not like they're incredible paintings by some great artist. Okay, so we're planning on checking out the castle next.
Yeah. And we have to figure a way to get in.
That's true. Not my area of expertise.
But we do know a certain cut purse.
There are no guards posted at the very back, at least visible one. There's only a couple in the very front. It doesn't look highly secure, although they are armed fairly well.
You recorded when you were doing your walk around yesterday, right? Yeah, I'll just look at that tonight. I'll get us a way in.
I mean, if the place was receiving visitors, I could get in, but without getting any visitors, I don't know. It's going to be very difficult for me to be useful in that case. So I guess we'll let her do her thing, get some sleep until then.
You're going to do recon?
Yep. See if I can't, well, she might actually just try and get in tonight and see what she can see and then get back out before morning. What time is it now?
About 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
So I got a couple hours till daylight, right? What time of year is it? It's winter, isn't it?
No, summer, May. Well,
Oh, right.
other hemisphere, so.
I've got a couple hours till daylight.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah. You said there was nobody at the back, right?
None visible.
Not when he
Right.
went around, no.
Right. Well, I mean, I'll get a look at it from a distance first. I really need to put Franks in it.
Give me a sneaking roll.
Does this count as urban, or are we too far out in bumfuck
You're
nowhere?
too far out. You've got a tree line not too far from the castle.
Okay. Hold on, let me make sure. I think I've got bonuses. Actually, hours. Okay. So no, I don't. I keep all 7. She would also, this is always a poor idea. This has never gone well when I do. Oh, wait. No, okay, so she just takes off her jacket, essentially. Because I don't have RPC on her long coat. Sleeping tag her for the win. So in case there's anybody trying to perceive her, they're at a minus. Yeah.
Alright, so is this trip, since you only have a couple hours, a general perimeter observation, or are you actually going to try to get closer to test a few of the entryways and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna get as close as we. Yeah, definitely getting up close and personal with these. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a security design real quick, just 3 hits.
Okay, what are you trying to analyze with their security?
There's security.
Just common practices. They do have, looks like perimeter guard walking the upper four-pointed star bit, I guess that is. By the front of it, they kind of stand there, but they do occasionally walk towards the castle itself and around the perimeter to get to the little back corners occasionally. It seems to be on the outside, one on either side, so 2 guards at any given time there. And it takes a few minutes to go from the front to the back and then back to the front again. So there's time there to sneak around closer.
Right.
From the front, there are here. So from the front, you have the gate here. From the back, you have. Okay, so from the back, you do have some hallways. Seems to be here that lead to little kind of alcoves. There's not a whole lot of places you can go under there. They're not actual passageways to anywhere. But you can get underneath the stairs there. So when you're sneaking up, you can get under here to avoid detection before going up once they leave these corners on the left and the right side.
Okay.
This doorway, this little entryway on the bottom here, does actually seem to have a door that looks secured. This door here looks secured. Most of the windows on the back edge are what looks to be at least 8 to 10 feet off the ground.
Okay.
They don't seem like normal side opening windows or sliding windows. They do seem to be fixed in place.
Okay. That kind of limits our ways in, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a castle.
Yeah, but you'd expect them to, be able to open the windows.
With some study, it looks like some of the upper level windows can open.
Okay.
Mainly for defensive purposes and for airing things out.
Any lights on inside? Obvious people?
There are
Other
a
than
few lights coming from some of the necessarily want to call it second story, because if you go from the front, that's kind of like the first floor, I guess. But the middle floor, there's a few lights there. One light on the upper level. No lights coming from this lower row of windows. And at one point, give me an edge roll. Just roll your edge dice.
Okay. I got a hit.
You look something. So in May, the low temperatures at night are 10 degrees Celsius or 50 centigrade. 50 Fahrenheit. At one point in time, when you are getting close to one of the doors to check it out, you experience a very sudden drop in temperature.
Wow.
Like you're at a comfortable 50 degrees and it drops down to about 25 degrees below freezing. Well, below freezing to about 25 degrees. And it's a very brief thing. You get up close to something, it drops real cold, so you back up and it kind of warms right back up again.
I'm just gonna go ahead and throw a numinous perception real quick. Does that feel like magic? Never mind, I know nothing.
It definitely doesn't seem natural.
Well, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
You kind of don't drop 25 degrees Fahrenheit instantaneously, naturally. And then after a moment of kind of shaking it off, you get a little closer and the temperature remains normal this time.
Uh-huh.
But as far as ways in go, with some work, you can probably get to the roof. You might be able to get in from I believe the front had a way in the roof. This lower thing here, if you can get through the door, it probably leads to storage or servants' quarters at least that can then go up and into the castle.
Is there any sign of any high-tech security? Have they added cameras or motion sensors? Anything like that is
Not that you've noticed, no.
I'm gonna be a fucking walk in the park. All I gotta worry about are the people. Let me get up close and personal with at least one of the doors. It's just seeing what type of locks it is. Is it a mechanical lock? An old tumbler or?
The locks do look mechanical. It looks like a very old deadbolt style lock with some. Do you have any type of lock picking?
Yes.
So with some work, you can quietly disengage the bolt, but the door itself looks secured by other means, maybe a bar across on the inside or something like that. So it's not just the lock.
Talk about bolt. Okay. So that means roof or windows on the second or third floor. Okay.
Yeah. Or a different door. This door may
Oh,
be better secured because it's less often used, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But, from the backside, you have a good 5 to 10 minutes before a guard is visible. They don't both go to the backside at the same time. One goes on one side than the other. From the front, you have less time that you are not observed or in a position to be observed, but you have a lot more options from the front too.
Right. Okay, so I've kind of figured out points of entry, which I don't think I'm not gonna do this tonight. I don't think, not without at least somebody watching my back, even if from the outside. So she'll basically spend the rest of the night just watching. Obviously not for any subtleties because perception, but mostly watching the guards because she knows,
for the obvious stuff.
For the obvious stuff, any deviations in their routes, any, break times, even if it's only,
there is hours, one point just before dawn, and this is, just before dawn, so it's not a matter of like allergy to sunlight. I don't think so. Let me make sure. I don't want to say they don't have an allergy to sunlight if they do.
I don't like the sounds of that. Oh God.
There's a reason why it's not heavily guarded, because nobody goes here.
God.
They have a mob and pitchforks and torches.
My mind is still screaming vampires at me. I don't know why. Maybe because of the castle.
And where we're located.
Yeah. My mind is just screaming vampires.
We're in the Balkans. Sounds like vampire country.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
so none of our listeners are not from the area, but if they are, we apologize, but you have vampire problems.
So it is a little before dawn. The sun has not come up yet. You notice somebody leaves the castle from the front along the upper walkway there. Let me get back over here. They come out from, if you're watching the map, this door over here, right?
Okay.
They walk down the hallway, down the stairs right there, so they're coming through the courtyard. And when they get to the underside of the passageway that goes underneath that thing, both of the guards, how many judge intentions dice do you have?
I throw 11 dice.
Okay, so that's enough to get a sense. The guards, they have this look about them like maybe revulsion or something, to where they edge as far as they can get away from that walkway as this thing leaves. And it comes back not too long later, before the sun comes up. It comes back and goes inside the same door. It looks like a male, dark hair, angular features, wearing clothing appropriate for the climate. So it is wearing a slightly warm jacket and pants and stuff like that. It's not dressed in tank tops or anything, so it's not ignoring temperatures. The hair is mostly short cropped. He has a very thick mustache. But when he leaves, and he kind of goes down the road, so he gets out of sight not too long. Okay.
All right, sorry about that.
So, he goes down the road in the direction of the church, because that's where the road leads to before it actually branches off and goes into the city at all. So he's out of sight fairly quickly, and he's gone maybe 20 minutes before he comes back. And he's back maybe 10, 20 minutes before the sun starts to come over the horizon.
Well, now her mind is screaming vampire. Infected.
And we can end it there.
Okay. So the vampiric strain 2 or 3?
3, I think.
I'm gonna double check.
We'll go 3 karma for the night. Does Marigold have any parazoology or anything like that?
No. However, she does have experience with infected. I don't have any knowledge skills to reflect that, but she's actually a carrier for strain 3. She was bitten by, or almost infected by something at some point that carried strain 3.
Does she have arcana at all?
No. She's, like I said, she's skills. I've got the basics for a BNE.
She has the street knowledge. Like vampires, you gotta chop their heads off and stuff their mouths full of garlic and bury them a mile apart from their body, and you gotta do all this stuff so they don't come back.
I mean, feel like she'd know more practical knowledge about infected. Like, just from her time living on the streets, like, that's kind of, I feel like infected would be a big deal. Like, a lot of your squatters, I feel, would be ghouls. Or at least a good amount of them. And she does have the sprawl life knowledge.
Yeah. Being a carrier, roll me this would be logic.
Yeah. Just straight logic. Logic -1.
Straight logic.
I'm edging this. 3 hits.
Okay. So Marigold's mind is going to vampires. Because of the evidence here. Or infected in general. But there's this nagging feeling in the back of your mind that nothing that you've ever heard of seems to associate drastic drops in temperature like that with the infected.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of infected are magic. Magic is weird. She doesn't understand magic.
Could definitely be weird magic of some sort too, yes.
Magic does weird things. She knows that much. What the fuck is going on here? I don't know. But basically, yeah, she'll go back. I know we're ending. I need to.
The Topps Company Inc. has sole ownership of the names, logos, artwork, marks, photographs, sounds, audio, video, and/or any proprietary material used in connection with the game Shadowrun. The Topps Company Inc. has given permission to Relative Dimension to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and/or any proprietary materials for promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with Relative Dimension in any official capacity whatsoever. Relative Dimension is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial 4.0 International License. You can share us, but please give us credit.
The intro is church music from Sirenscape.
The outro is Double Cross, off the Shadowrun Return soundtrack, used with permission from Harebrained Schemes. And thank you to Sirenscape for the additional music and sound effects. You can find more information at sirenscape.com. If you would like to get in touch with the Relative Dimension, you can visit our website at relativedimension.com. You can contact us, email, at podcast@relativedimension.com. You can visit our Facebook at facebook.com/relativedimensionpodcast. You can check us out on Twitter at RelativeDpod. You can check out our Patreon if you wish to support us at patreon.com/relativedimension.